My relationship with my body has never been a straight line. I would call it more of a dance, if you will. And I think that's for most of us. Yeah. Hi, everybody. It's Megan Holly, and this is Taking Flight. Today, we're going to talk about embracing our bodies and encompassing self love more beautifully. Because, as I said, loving ourselves and our bodies can be something that comes with so many layers. We gather so much information from the outside world. We have our own thoughts when we look in the mirror. As we grow up, we go through all these different situations and stages and all of that kind of build the way that we look at ourselves, how we embrace ourselves, more importantly. And today, we're going to dig a little bit deeper in there because it's something that every human walking this planet, I don't care who you are, what shape, size, background, culture you are from, we have all had those moments in time, if not on a daily basis, that we are in that dance, if you will, of loving ourselves and our bodies. But here's the thing, it's so important for us to find some self love in this space. And that's why I'm bringing to the mic here today because it's an uncomfortable thing to talk about. I'm not going to lie. Even more ironic that I'm in a season where I don't know how I even feel about myself and my body right now because it has been a dance and it moves and it shakes and it changes. And some days it's really hard. And some days I'm like, hell yeah, girl. Looking in the mirror, like that little moment, let's go. But isn't that human? Isn't that how it is? There's no level that you just hit. And then all of a sudden you're just like, I will always love every single part of me and everything that I do and how I look at all the things. It's just not real. And we're about real and raw around here. Yes, we love positivity and optimism and all of that, but there is realness that has to be in tangent with that. In tandem, I think is the right word I want to say. It is in tandem with it. Today, we're going to do that. We're going to remind ourselves that there's no just peak of confidence and loving ourselves. And because we sometimes, I don't know about you, let me know if this is the case for you. Tell me because I want to know. And I also just selfishly would love to know that I'm not alone in this, but tell me that I'm not the only one that looks at somebody sometimes like they've got it. Like they know that they are this beautiful human walking this earth and that they look so strong and healthy and whatever it is, like all these different words that we attach to it. And you just think that there are people out there that have it. Are you in that world that you feel that way sometimes? And I will say that it's changed a little bit for me. It doesn't always feel like that so much anymore because I know the reality is that is nobody. I don't care who it is, what they're doing out in the world or how naturally gorgeous they are, whatever. They don't always feel that way. In fact, some of those people are more self-conscious probably than the average Joe when they're the people that just have that essence about them. Today we're going to dive in a little bit and talk about the idea of just embracing ourselves and what we can do, simple things in our daily lives to start loving ourselves. Because for me, that's where it's come down to. It's been a journey of figuring out how and what it is that makes me feel good. What do I do to keep making myself love my body in all seasons and all shapes and sizes? I have been all over the place as far as sizes and health, the strength that I have, all of that. For me, it's not about the number, it's not about the size on the clothing. However, it is about how I feel. It is about how I am operating in the world. It is about my own take on myself, if that makes sense. Yes, that means that I have been in different levels of fitness and all these different things, but have I loved them all? Diving in, where do we start with this? There's so many things to unpack. It probably needs to be a few episodes long, but we're going to kind of put it into a little package for today. And the one thing we want to look at is what have we picked up along the way from our childhood and from outward people? What have they told us about ourselves? I grew up dancing. I was a dancer from the age of 3, competitive dancing, all the things. That's a world where you see a lot. You see yourself in the mirror. I danced 6 days a week. I'm staring at myself in tights and a leotard, mind you, which is very uncomfortable for a fluctuating teenage body, all the things. And I actually don't remember being so mean to myself back in the day, but there were times that I would call out because I wasn't the build of a ballerina, if you will, right? I am shorter, I am stockier and more athletically built. Even at my most in kind of shape and strong version of myself, I'm still built thicker. I had to look at myself in the mirror and accept that we are all different. What from my childhood can I take and remember that is only something that I thought, something that I heard somebody say, all the things, right? I've heard people over their lifetime hear things from parents or teachers or friends that have kind of busted their self-confidence, making comments on their bodies, and bodies are not meant to be commented on, not in the way of tearing it down, especially. And we've all had those moments. Can you take a look back and say, hey, that was somebody else projecting on me? That was an age old kind of way of thinking, especially back in the day, growing up in the 90s, 80s, 90s, all of that. There was a lot of body image issues going on. It was the height of Dr. 90210 and people getting all these things happening in plastic surgery. And you're growing up in that thinking, well, that's the only way to feel good and feel confident in ourselves. I don't know. I was never intrigued by that. I think everybody can do what they want with themselves, but there's an extreme line where it's, what are we doing here? I think it's when we're having these messages that you're not okay, you're not beautiful, you're not safe, you're not healthy. What can we do to tap into those and release them? Maybe write them down and burn them. Something, maybe it's a sentiment or a word or something that is holding on to you for dear life, and you still repeat it in your head, or maybe it's subconscious at this point, but maybe you're unearthing it right now, which, sorry, not sorry, we want to unearth it to undo the damage that it may cause. Can we do that, right? Can we find our way into ourselves by looking at our past, which is beautiful? It can be a little bit heavy, but I know you can do this. If we haven't already started doing this work, we need to separate our worth from our image. We have to separate our just whole entire worth and being from image because we are worthy no matter what. I don't care what season you are in, what you look like, how you feel, you are worthy. You are 3000% worthy just by being here and just by existing. You deserve better. You deserve more. You deserve to feel good in your skin. How can we separate our worth from the image that we see in our heads, in the mirrors, or what we think is perceived about us? Those are three different images, if you ask me, because sometimes we'll see in our mind's eye one version of ourselves. The mirror tells us, quote unquote, tells us another version. And sometimes the perception in which we think people have of us, or maybe they do, maybe they've told us, are different. And some of them could be way more positive and some can be way more negative. But how do we meet in the middle and make the truth for yourselves? Whatever it is, the truth for you mainly, and most importantly, is that you are worthy. What can we do to separate that? And for you, it may be vastly different. I don't want to give too many examples here because how can you step into feeling worthy? Is it by picking things out, right? I'm going to give just like a little thought process to get the gears going. Is it by picking things out that make you feel good in your body? Seeking out things that make you feel better? Maybe it's the actual touch and tactile feeling of the fabric on our skin. Let's start there. Maybe it's the pair of jeans that really just makes us go, okay, I'm feeling really good. And leaning into that because that doesn't change our worth. But if we can help ourselves feel more just intrinsically worthy by doing things that feel good, not necessarily look good, feel good, then we are on at least a trajectory of helping this be a better space for us to exist in. Once we kind of work through that separating of the appearance and the worth side of things, let's look at, gosh, and I think if you grew up, especially in kind of the 80s and 90s, and I'm sure really any decades and time frames, how in the world did we get to the point where our body was a project? It's not a teammate anymore. It's a project. Like it's something to work on. It is a thorn in our side. It is literally a project to better. We punish it with movement. Oh my gosh, that makes me so sad because I'm all about movement and music being really one of the spices of life. And it's intrinsic. We see that across every single continent of this planet, I would imagine even the aliens out there are dancing and moving. We all need it and we all thrive on it, but we don't even see that movement is so beautiful. We punish. So many people have punished themselves in the gym doing something to change their body. And now I'm not knocking being healthy and having healthy habits and wanting to strive for having strong muscles and achieving a level of fitness that you want to attain. Not talking about that. That's all beautiful and great. But when we are doing it out of punishment, that's where the problematic thinking and existing in that happen. We're doing it to just attain something that may be unattainable in certain ways. We're doing it because we're not worthy. Finding this balance of wanting to better our bodies. Yeah, I want to be stronger. I want to be healthier. That's why I went back to dance class because I didn't feel stronger and healthier. I walked up to the studio today and I was out of breath from getting up there because I was running a little bit behind and then I had things in my hands and it doesn't feel good to not feel strong in our bodies. And we have seasons where it's going to be harder and easier and life throws things at us and it's not always just this cakewalk. However, at least at the core of our being, if we are doing things that make us know that we're feeding into the worth of us and that we are able to be strong and healthy no matter what. We're not a project. We are a teammate. If we want to be healthier, we want to be stronger, we want to change something, then we look at it as a teammate versus a project or a problem point, if that makes sense. And I think for me, that's what's shifted a lot this year. And I still have some other things and ways that I want to step into getting my body stronger and healthier. But what's changed for me this year is that I'm just seeing it as the body having more fun, bringing in more joy, moving the stagnant energy, moving the old things that don't serve me, and also getting more endurance and health in that side of things. Stamina, making my lungs stronger, all the things. We have the power to do that, but are we doing it in the right vein? That's the trick question. Ask yourself that. Am I doing or looking towards doing things to help my body be healthier, better, stronger in the right vein of thinking? Take a moment there. Take a little moment there because that's where we shift a lot. When I was going to, this is many years ago, but I was going to power yoga, I think 2 or 3 times a week. I felt like I could bust through a brick wall. I was so strong, or at least I felt I was. I'm sure I could have been even stronger in many ways, but I personally felt like a little bomb, like a little power bomb. I really did. And it felt so good. It had nothing to do with what I looked like or what I felt just when I looked in the mirror. It was this like feeling of power. How do we replicate that? How do we find the joy in our bodies, in movement, and then just really embracing our bodies more importantly? One way we need to do that is by releasing perfection. I don't even like the word perfect. I have an episode from forever and ever ago, way before I was on YouTube, that was about being a recovering perfectionist because the word is elusive. It doesn't exist. Nothing is perfect. There could be just so many other words we can use, but it's not. How do we release that perfection and think about self connection? And when I do this, I feel that. Because won't we eventually want to do more of it if it feels that good? Right now, yeah, we're going to have life and schedules and feeling off an entire day or whatever that's going to maybe kind of hinder us once in a while, but you're more likely to get over that hump and over that just hurdle, if you will, if you do it with more connection to self. Going back to that power yoga side, I feel so stinking strong. I'm going to get over this bad day or this feeling tired or whatever. And I'm going to go. I'm going to actually go and enjoy this thing or do that class or go on that walk or whatever it might be because I know that that feels so stinking good. So we get more connected to ourselves versus worrying about perfection, versus worrying about a number on the scale, versus whatever it is, the thing that's holding us back because we're like, if I'm not there, then I'm nowhere. That's so unfair. Such an unfair way of thinking, if you ask me, because nothing good can come of that except for stagnancy. And that's not good for anybody. It's not good for our bodies, our minds, our energy. It's just not good. And really, at the end of the day, if when we go back to, we have our mind gremlins, but we also, our body has its own way of wanting the things that are good. It craves feeling good and being enjoyed, not judged. How do we get to that point? It's by doing these things, finding that self connection, going back to those old kind of things that we used to think about ourselves, that people have told us, and how we can undo all that by getting back to self connection, self awareness, and just enjoying our bodies on a different level. Because I don't think anybody thinks about those words together, like enjoying your body. Wow. We live in a society that every commercial that we see, okay, maybe not every commercial, because there's cute pet commercials and all kinds of things, but a lot of commercials, a lot of ads, a lot of things that we see on anything that we're watching really is get this face cream to look younger. Go get this to tighten up your thighs. And yes, some of these things may be helpful for keeping your skin supple and healthy and moisturizers. There is truth to them. Don't get me wrong, these bodies do need things to help fuel it properly and keep it feeling and all the things good. But where is the dang line is where I ask you. And when you see those things that are literally preying on your insecurities, they're marketing to you. How do you keep yourself just strong and grounded in what do I really feel is good for my body? What do I really need to feel healthy? And if it's something that is helpful on your journey, wonderful. But if it's just something that's just making you feel crap, literally, that's not going to be so good. We can't be having that. So let's wrap up this episode by talking about some rituals that we can do. And some of these I've talked about before, but it's notable to just keep reminding ourselves to do this, find different ways to do the same things. And one of them is mirror talk and just mirror play. And today the Meghan Trainor song. Well, I think it's Me Too. I put it on today, and the whole song's like an affirmation. And you could say that if you sang those words out loud, that you would be, oh my God, that sounds so conceited and vain. But what if it's what you embodied, that essence? Because she's just talking about just like owning yourself and being like, you wish you were me too. What if we just wished we were ourselves for 4 seconds and enjoyed that Maybe put that song on. I was doing my hair and just singing it out loud, and I had this epiphany that it was just like fun to embrace myself and be like, heck yeah, why wouldn't I want to be me? Why wouldn't anybody want to feel this way? And bring music with your mirror talk. Find a song that just embodies the feeling that you want to have in your body. Like you just want to feel powerful. You want to feel strong. You want to feel light and good and healthy in your body. Pick a song and do that and embody it. I'm telling you, that song really did it for me this morning, anyways. And I just loved the fact that we can say, heck yeah, you want to feel like this? I know. Let's do this and just own it. Own it. That mirror talk, the intentional getting ready. For me, I do so much in life that's weird and quirky in certain ways. That's so intentional, right? When we're getting ready, I'm all about my earrings. So I pick them out very intentionally and it feels good to go through. Even on days when I'm just at home, bopping around the house, I like to pick out even simple earrings that make me feel good. Taking moments and things that can just be, we're just doing it intentionally, not on autopilot. And that will make me say, you know what? I feel more apt to make good choices today for myself and my body. And I feel good when I am thinking about how I am perceived in the world, right? How can you add an intentionality into your getting ready routine and even in your getting unready routine as you're washing your face, as you're taking off your clothes, as you're taking off your jewelry? What can you do to say thank you to your body for that day? Thank you, body, for pushing me through a long day of meetings. Thank you for getting me to the car faster because it was so cold and I felt really good that it was strong enough to get me there. We take these things for granted. We really do. I know I'll be the first to say that there's times when you're sick or something's going on and you've lost maybe some vitality or range of motion or something, whether it's permanent or short term, or even think about when you have a common cold and you can't breathe. It's all you want to do is to be able to breathe out of your dang nose. Think about that. If we go into our day when we're getting unready, and we're saying, thank you so much for being able to breathe through my nose. We're not thinking about that unless we have to. But what if we did? Taking off, your socks, your shoes. Take a moment. Thank you for my feet for putting me through that grueling conference that I was standing for 8 hours straight. What if we just started changing the language and how we spoke to ourselves and we would already start to see ourselves differently? Dang, it would be beautiful. Wouldn't it though? I don't know. See, as I'm talking, I'm thinking of new things that I want to add into my own routine. Let me know what's inspiring you about this, or if you have some cool things that you're doing in your routine already, or things that have come up as we've talked here. I would love to hear them because, again, I say it all the time, but our conversations are the catalyst to better living, more intentional living, more connection, all of it. Let's go. Let's get chatting. And really going back down to trust. If there's nothing else that you take from this episode, it's getting back to trusting that what we need is what is important to us. There is no perfect attainable look, body type, size, status of any sort that is important. We need to trust ourselves wholeheartedly that what we need, say, not only to ourselves, but to others, is coming back home and the most important thing at the end of the day. And as you go in and let this episode simmer with you and think, I want you to leave behind some of the thoughts that maybe are not bringing the best light of you to life and hone in on practices, words, routines that really do. Like, how do you light yourself up? How do you let your body shine and feel the best that it can be without worrying about anybody else's capabilities or strengths? That is the most important thing today. And I cannot wait for us all to just start feeling really good in our own skin and making more and more choices to embody that trustful relationship and connection to our bodies. Go on and love that beautiful self of yourself, of you. And when you look in the mirror the next time, you better promise me that you're going to do this, but you're going to look in the mirror the next time, you're going to say something really nice and kind. Really nice and kind. I don't care what it is. It just has to be kind and it just has to be loving. Go on and do that. And I will see you next time.